What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Watch and Cut channel. So today I decided I was gonna do a video on the AE1200. And this is a watch that I think a lot of people are really familiar with, but I've done a mod video on these already, but I haven't even really talked about the watch itself.
How dare you!
So I have an upcoming project, an SKX mod kit project, that I needed to buy a brand new AE1200 for.
We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is a...
So here it is. So actually, what's cool about this watch, you can generally get it in a stainless steel looking configuration. I only say stainless steel looking is because it appears to be all stainless steel, but the case is actually plastic.
I do not want to believe that.
But it's actually quite cool for, you know, a $20 or $30 watch. This one here is brand new in the box, so you can kind of see what your packaging is going to be. I can hear a helicopter on the horizon, so forgive that, but we're gonna continue along. Here's your little butterfly cushioning.
It's more cushion for the pushing.
Cause what?
Push for more cushion for the pushing.
Inside, you'll see actually quite a bit of literature. Here's the module number. And actually, this is directions for both. So you can find a lot of useful information in this little manual about all the things this watch does. And it actually does do quite a bit. Don't let the price fool you, because honestly, it does a lot. And we'll talk about that. So this watch was released in 2012, and it's loosely based on the G757, if I remember right. G757 4020 Sport 100 was the Bond watch that this was loosely based on. But so basically they call this thing the Casio Royale. It's a really interesting way that this thing got named that way, because it's not quite the watch that James Bond wore during the movie. As a matter of fact, he was wearing an Omega Seamaster. So, but I believe that was just a play on words, because this one actually looks like the James Bond Seiko that was worn in Octopussy.
That's what she said. Oh, that's good.
That's right, YouTube. I said it, Octopussy. Anyways, so here it is, the AE1200. It comes with a little plastic deal here. This is kind of a nice little unboxing. I mean, considering that this is a $20, $30 watch. Here's some specs here. You can see the world timer, 48 cities, 31 time zones, 10-year battery life, 5 different alarms, and 100 meters of water resistance. I would say the water resistance is probably a little bit loosely based on a lot of things, maybe before the first time you do the battery, unless you seal it up really well, like they do from the factory with nice even pressure, not too hard to pinch the gasket, then you'll probably get that. If not, I would say this is more like a 50 meters water resistant type watch. But on the inside, there are some nice little protective deals. I've taken these apart. They're really well constructed. They're very visible, easy to kind of like navigate through. Very legible. I love the analog clock right here. So let's talk about some dimensions in this guy. So the thickness of this guy is 12.5 millimeters, which is not too shabby. The width, you know, versus the height we've got, you know, including, I guess, more of like the whole case size, is advertised at 45 by 42 millimeters. As far as the weight, the overall weight on this guy, I'm expecting to be pretty good here. We're just gonna put this guy here. Look at that, 1.3 ounces, including the straps. That's pretty light, guys. I mean, that basically is nothing at all, but this is gonna be the lightest version. And I bought this version because I'm gonna do away with the case, the straps, and everything. I'm only gonna use the module, so I got the cheapest variant. Subsequently, though, I think this one looks just as cool as the stainless looking version of this watch. So next up, let's talk about the lug to lug. We got 45 millimeters from lug to lug. Yeah, I mean, as far as the materials, we got a plastic case with a resin glass, which is basically plastic, which is cool because if you scratch it up, which this will scratch kind of fairly easily depending on what you do on your day-to-day, but this is actually something you could just put a little bit of, like, I think they call it poly grip, or no, that's for the dentures, whoops. Poly something or other, this stuff right here, which I have some. I've tried it. It works really well. It removes scratches very easy from like these kind of plastic resinated lenses. So very cool, easy to maintain somewhat. As I'd mentioned, you can get these plastic straps or stainless steel bracelet. It does have a trifold press clasp if you get the stainless steel version. We already saw the module number. Now the battery in this one is a CR2025, and that's very easy to find in the stores. It's advertised loosely, basically on a 10-year lifespan. I'm sure the more you use the light and the other features and the modes and fiddle around with it, that's going to go down just a little bit, but I mean, that's still phenomenal. Even if it does 7 years, who cares, right? So as far as the factory warranty, I didn't even bother to look that up because this watch is so disposable if you want to treat it that way. They're so cheap, so who cares what the warranty is. Price varies from $20 to $35. So overall, pretty darn cool. This is a watch that even people who own Rolexes, people who own Omegas, people who own higher end watches will also usually have one of these in their collection. Now, another one I want to highlight too, the AE1200 that we're talking about here is also often mistaken for the AE1300. Now the AE1300 is a bit more of a sports watch, more geared for lap times and recording, you know, those sorts of things. This is more of a world timer, so this is more designed to, if you're going to travel, this is going to be a great watch. And high-end watch reviewers have even claimed that this thing outperforms a lot of watches in the north of $1,000 as far as you know, its utility. Of course, it's not an automatic module and such and so on and so forth. Now, if you guys haven't been following my channel before, I thought I'd bring this guy out. This is the ultimate Casio Royale that I modded. This one has a Damasteel case. It's got a ripple effect bezel insert. It's also got a sapphire crystal. I modded the screen. Everything works quite nicely on this guy. It's got some Vario straps. I had some shark skin ones on there before, but I don't know. I'm still kind of playing around with what I'm going to do as far as straps. It's a little tricky on this watch because you can see they're winged on both sides. So typically this is 18 millimeters, and then it's winged out to like a 20. So finding straps for these guys, it's out there. There's guys who make straps specifically for these, but most of the time they're tapered. And I did get this custom Damasteel buckle and tongue right here to go with it, but it wasn't designed for a tapered strap. So I'm gonna get a new set of straps for this guy later. This is just temporary, just to put it on something whenever I get around to it. But that is the ultimate Casio Royale. As you can see, you can mod the crap out of it. This project was a little bit north of $1,100. This was like 385 bucks. The case was 485. The materials and the shipping for the lens, the filters, everything that was done to it. I mean, it all adds up really quickly when you're having fun. This one's actually by Cranios Design. Check him out. He's really cool dude, very talented, makes all kinds of different case materials. And this one was done by, I always forget his name, but we're gonna put him right here. Awesome guy out of Texas. That was the only interaction I've had with him, but man, he just knocked it out of the park with the way he sculpted this. Usually he deals with higher end watches, I'm sure. But for this project, this was kind of fun. So we'll do some new straps that do that more justice later. So there you have it. Now let's talk about some of the features of the AE1200. Now, some of the features I like, of course, the battery life is a huge plus, which we've already talked about. But the thing is, with this kind of a quartz module, it's a great grab and go watch. And you've probably heard a lot of watch guys talk about a grab and go watch. Now the difference is if you have something automatic, or like this Hamilton, for example, this one's a hand winder. And so what I have to do every, other day on this particular one, I gotta wind it to power it up. And this is something you're gonna have to not forget to do if you wanna maintain the time on this watch. I think this one's a 40-hour power reserve. I can't remember what the standard one was. I know this one's been upped a little bit in this special edition version, but yeah, you got to continuously do that or else it'll run out of power. You got to reset your time and all that good stuff. So, when it comes to selecting a watch, sometimes just grabbing something that is going to be set right is what we call a grab and go watch. You just put it on and the time's already set and you just roll out the door that day, right? So this is a great one of those. As a matter of fact, the accuracy is calculated or advertised to be around 30 seconds a month, but I've seen some people claim that theirs, when they actually timed it, was closer to 10 seconds a month. So you can imagine for 25 bucks, the type of accuracy that you get is quite phenomenal, considering maybe something a little bit more of a nostalgic watch like this, which is a mechanical watch. The accuracy is going to be about, I don't know, maybe plus or minus 10, 15 seconds a day on average. So big difference, guys, big price difference too. This is more of something that was about 800 bucks, $25. So big price difference. This one's still on demo mode. There's that little map right there, and you can see where your time zones are highlighted. So I left it on this demo mode so you can kind of see it switching around and doing its thing. But that's what that is. It'll show you the current time zone that you select. You can usually monitor 2 at a time with this watch. This one will always be home time, this analog one, but you can hold these 2 buttons together, and what it'll do is it'll swap the times out. So you can kind of swap 2 time zones as your home, but this is designed to be home, and then this is designed to be wherever you're at. Again, 48 different cities, 31 time zones, quite a bit of watch. You can also have it set in 4 different modes. You can run it in 24-hour mode. You can turn on daylight savings time or off. You got a mute feature, which is going to be actually indicated up here if you want to mute it. You got a beautiful bright LED light right here. Typical color, the amber, although this one's got a nice fresh battery, you could tell. It's very bright. You got 5 alarms, so you can set 5 daily alarms at one time, and they can be set by the second, which is pretty cool. A lot of other watches, you can only set countdown alarms and such as a minute. You can set the duration of the glow. You can have it 1 second if you want to keep the battery life strong, or you can set it to 3 if you want to see it glow longer. Another feature you're going to have is going to be a stopwatch. The stopwatch itself is actually capable of 1/100th of a second counting. It actually will count all the way to 24 hours. You can do elapsed time, split time, first and second place lap times. So pretty cool. So next you got the timer, which counts down all the way to 24-hour countdown. You can actually set it. Very easy to operate in 0 out and start all over again. This one actually counts down to 1/10 of a second increments, which is quite a little clever deal, which is what you got going on here. You also have the calendar, which will go all the way to 2099, which is way surpassed what you or and I will live, and you could probably pass this down and it'll still operate in 2099 or 3000 AD.
You have chosen wisely.
So on the display side, what I really like about this one is you got a lot of information all in one shot. You, as I'd mentioned before, you have the home time right here. You have your time zone select here. You're gonna have your alarm select on or off, and with your mute display here, you're gonna have your 24-hour or 12-hour time down time, and then you're gonna have, here, let me put it back here. You're gonna have your time zone and also the date and time, and you can set it down to the second, which means you can, set this to an atomic time clock if you choose to have it so accurate. So very cool watch, very versatile. It's just a watch that does so much, and I love the whole variety, and I'll do a video on this guy later. I've also done a mod of this one, which I have a video of, although I didn't bring that guy out. But we'll do the XKX mod kit with this guy pretty soon here, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys all on the next one.